So the reality, I think, with both is you need to start with insights, right? Like everything comes from like really understanding the consumers, understanding the multicultural consumers are part of your brand and part of the growth of your brand, and really taking in consideration how they react to either a category, a way that they feel about like family, bringing their values and including them when you're defining your marketing strategy for any growth plan.
In terms of what you find to be most compelling to executives, obviously data is king in marketing. So what are some of the most compelling insights that help you drive Hispanic marketing at Nestle? I myself I've been on the brand management side, and to your point, sometimes Hispanic gets pushed to the side because there's not enough budget or they can't figure out the English marketing. So how do you get over those kinds of hurdles?
So I think you hit it. Like I think for me first is analytics, right? Like the first thing is like data is king and really showing where growth is coming from. So like the name of the game right now is growth. Like any of the companies want to say like how can I achieve growth, and we're like if I can say in a very slow growth mode for like the industry. So the reality is like people are really looking for those growth drivers, those nuggets that can really turn around your business. And when you start like really decomposing your sales, the problem is sometimes people don't understand that where your sales are coming from. They don't understand that they can break their actual sales, their household penetration, like all those key factors that you are looking for, and really say how much is it in Hispanic, how much is it in African American, how much is it in general market. And when you understand the different segments and you understand what they are bringing to your business, that's when you can establish a strategy. So the reality, how we got Nestle to do this, it was a top management commitment based on growth. Where do you want to grow in the next 3 years? And where the reality that growth can come from.
That makes sense. So for a brand, have you had an example where there was a brand that was doing really well with the general market and you saw the potential for further growth? Sometimes what happens is if something's steady Eddie, people don't want to change it, right? They're like, why am I going to change what's already working for me? Have you had an example where that's been the case and you've been able to push further with the Hispanic or the African American market?
Yes, and I think specifically I can tell you about Coffee Mate. So Coffee Mate is one of our most important brands for Nestle. It's the brand of creamer of preference, is the market leader in the US. So without them doing efforts about Hispanic, they still had like unreasonable sales coming from Hispanic. But the reality, when we go deep, when we start understanding the consumer, we learn so many things. Like what I was talking about is like Coffee Mate has more penetration in the Hispanic market than even in general market. Like 3 out of 10 houses in the Hispanic market has creamer, when for general market it's just 2 in every 10. And what we understand is that Hispanics really love the product. They love the idea of being able to add some flavor to their cafecito moment. But we needed to understand that their cafecito moments maybe are different. They are not just in the morning. They are also about like night. And how they take it. And they take it with like pan dulce. And what are the key favorite flavors? So we can have like the top 3 flavors that everyone loves. But there is other flavors that also Hispanics love. And we needed to bring them to the forefront. So the reality is through data and really understanding the insights, we could really bring the brand forward. Coffee Mate has been growing dramatically with the Hispanic market. They now are like one of the key growth drivers, even to the point that last year we had to bring a bicultural gingerbread to life in our seasonal campaign, because now Hispanics is relevant for them, not only in the regular product, but even in their seasonal product, right? So like the reality is like finding those nuggets of information, pushing the brand, and really asking them to excel. Go for more, because this market has more to give.
Absolutely. So moving forward, you've done a lot of great things. Are there a couple of brands that you really hope to grow in the future?
I think like the reality all across Nestle has opportunities to grow.
Yeah, you guys have a great portfolio.
Yes. So we're continuing to drive a lot more now our frozen business. So we want to really grow like our Stouffer's, our lean cuisine. DiGiorno has been a great example. Hot Pockets is like out of the charts how important Hispanic is for them. But the reality is we want to go for more. Like we have a very good portfolio in our beverage side. We have our Nescafe brand that like is like a love mark for the Hispanic consumer. Yeah, Nesquik as well. And Coffee Mate has done an amazing job. So like the reality, if you ask me which ones are like the ones that we're developing every time more, I would say is our frozen portfolio and the foods business, as well as our ice cream portfolio.
And I imagine that you might see a lot of opportunity there with like obviously Hispanics, very core to our values is family and catering to family. So I imagine you guys are trying to capitalize in that regard with frozen foods?
Yes, and also a lot of, even with the individuals, like in the last years we have had our single serve business grow a lot. And I think it has to do with like the power of the Latina coming out of the home, really kind of trying to kind of embrace a life that has been combined between family and work or any other interest as a school. And the reality then is when like, you have great products, like we have the line of Lean Cuisine, we have like new organic products, we have some enchilada verde with like beans that is like to die for. So the reality, having them, the food that you like in a single serve that you sometimes you can take on the go when you're like in two different things that you want to do for your lifestyle is also very, very compelling.
Yeah, it is very compelling. So you've talked a lot about the different brands within Nestle. Nestle overall, have you guys been working towards trying to improve the company's brand image from a Latino point of view overall, like the master brand of Nestle?
Yes, so we have a really good advantage. Nestle is a love mark too, right? Like Nestle has been present in Latin America for more than like 100 years.
Right.
Exactamente. Desde Nescafé, desde la lechera, la leche nido, like so many things that like Latinos have grew up with from a Nestle perspective. So Nestle means trust, means quality for them. So in fact, we have a corporate program that is called El Mejor Nido. Even we have our corporate website, elmejornido.com. It's a bilingual website. You can access it from your phone. You can access it anywhere. And then what we dedicate the time in that place is to really connect Latinos that want to be what we call culturally connected. And then we try to kind of make sure that we're bringing for them the best ways that they can live their lives, bringing suggestions, ideas for like their food in their lives. That's what we call El Mejor Nido, creating the best home, right? Like,
nice.
And it has like a lot of these values about like in your home, what's that you do? You chunk your chocolate churros or your concha in your hot chocolate. In your house, where 5 can eat, 6 can eat too, because you are always welcoming. You are always like a good host. You are always wanting to bring all these different products. And in that website, what we have is basically a total platform about food recipes, menus, to help them maintain their values alive and embrace both their Latino culture as well as their American culture. So we can give you tips and recipes of how to do your beans or your rice or your flan. But then also when it's Thanksgiving, we will tell you this is the way that you can do the turkey. And then if you want, you can add a chipotle rub to it, right? Like, because that's the way that we are. We're combining these two different cultures and trying to bring the best families. So that's what like El Mejor Nido is about. And that's what we're trying to do from a corporate perspective. We also have a TV campaign. We have a shopper program where we know who they are buying. And we go for those specific events that are really important for them. Like in Day of the Dead, we go out and we do like shopper events. We teach them how to kind of get their dress makeup as Catrinas. We show them, and not only our key products, like saying un Nescafé, café de olla, that when it's cold, that's what like you're craving, like something food and warm. We have the abuelita hot chocolate, but also we bring in those terms like Coffee Mate, and people want maybe to try the pumpkin spice creamer that they have never tried it. And of course, pumpkin was maybe not part of our heritage, but it's part of our life in the US. So that's what we try to do as well, Mejor Nido, and making sure that Nestle is embracing your culture and is embracing our consumers and what they want to learn from.
Absolutely. So the initiative is called El Mejor Nido, and
Yes.
the website is elmejornido.com?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So I guess one last question. For a lot of the thriving, up-and-coming multicultural marketers, what is the advice that you would give them to help continue pushing their initiatives in markets where, you know, the value of multicultural marketing might not necessarily be apparent to executives at the top or, you know, their company?
So I think the number one thing is try to figure out if you can get the right analytics. Because like in any business, you start with the data. And then from there, you can like expand. So if you can, the reality there is great services. Nielsen can like decompose your sales in Hispanic, non-Hispanic. Maybe not something that you can afford on a yearly basis, but maybe it's just like a one-time, just read the data, see what is happening, see where things are coming from, and then from there, start defining your strategies, right? Like how we do it is we start with analytics in Nielsen, we understand what is the size of the opportunity for you to kind of keep moving forward. From there, we go sometimes to like the brand analytics if you have, like saying your purchase funnel, what is like the brand equity, and is it that recognized with Hispanics or not? And then, is it the same as general market? Is it different? Like in the case of Häagen-Dazs, right? Like they didn't have the same level of awareness. But like as we were creating the campaign, we created like the campaign for like the master brand across segments, but we then highlighted in a specific Latino markets where we knew that we needed to kind of bring it up. And the results have been amazing. So the first thing is like be open to lead with multicultural insights. That is what is going to go closer to like the millennial or the Gen Z consumer. Because by the way, half of that population is multicultural.
Right.
And when you can, start with data, because that is the way that you are going to win your top management. And don't be afraid. Like I had to go to the C-suite, I had to knock the door and say, if you want to grow, let me show you some growth strategies. So I think that is what I will say. Feel empowered, go for it. And then even if it's a smaller efforts, now the beauty with digital is every budget can count, right? Like so before it was only like, do I have enough budget to go into TV? Well, if you don't have even TV, you can still reach a lot of these people via digital. That's that's where you can go like to your key partners, like saying Google, Facebook. There is so many things that now that you can do that you don't need to have like the maximum scale budgets to get to them.
Yeah, digital gives you the opportunity to be very thrifty. Any
Yes.
other parting thoughts for Portada?
No, I think it's like a great conference. Thank you for having me, and I'm having a great time.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate you coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you.